Hi, it's Friday, November 5th, and it's time for Farm Talk Friday.
That's right. This is my lovely husband, Ken, and I am Jay. You can call me Jay.
All right. Okay, this is going to be a slightly different kind of Farm Talk Friday because we just got back. We were in Hawaii for a couple of weeks, half on the Big Island, half on Maui. So I want to just give you a brief take on Hawaii versus Costa Rica. They're similar in a lot of ways. One big difference is Costa Rica is not an island. A lot of people do think that. I think that has to do with the first Jurassic Park film where they called Costa Rica an island, or they showed it as an island. Yeah. Anyway,
Hi, Sonia.
they have a lot of they grow a lot of similar produce there. A lot of
Yes.
similar fruits and vegetables. It was really interesting in the stores, even in the really cool like local Whole Foodsy type store.
Natural stores.
They didn't carry a lot of local produce, mostly imported from the States. And we just thought that was terrible. It seemed like they were only growing pineapple, bananas, and dragon fruit, basically. And so
I did not notice this. Ken seems to have really noticed this because he told someone else this story recently. Keep going, baby.
Well, yeah, I was doing the shopping. So,
Yeah, okay.
So anyway, but we went to a farmer's market, and
Hi, Mark.
the farmer's market was great. It had
Farmer's market was great. That was in Maui.
that was in Maui, and so there are farmers markets on probably all the islands, but definitely on the Big Island, definitely on Maui, and they had all kinds of amazing fruits and vegetables, lots of interesting root vegetables, and just a real wide variety. So locals are growing great stuff there, so that was great to know.
Yes.
The other big difference I want to point out is the ants and bugs difference.
Yes.
Tremendous amount of mosquitoes, ants, and bugs here in
Costa Rica.
Costa Rica. We've just got an amazing amount of biodiversity, and a lot of that biodiversity is bugs
insect kingdom.
and beautiful birds and things like that.
Yes.
But anyway, quick story. Driving down the road in the car, and so here in Costa Rica, we live with the ants. The ants are around us all the time. Sometimes we, like once a week or once every couple of weeks, we have to leave our house because the army ants or the fire ants?
Army ants.
Army ants
Quick
just,
shout out to Matt.
just,
Hi, Matt.
just come in and take over the house, and you just know to leave for a couple hours. They clean up, and then you can come back. They clean up, and they leave, and then you can come back. In Hawaii, we're listening to the radio, and then a public service announcement comes on from the government saying, if you see fire ants or any kind of invasive species, call the government and we'll come and eradicate them. They're really big on not allowing any non-native invasive species coming onto the island. And so it's just a big difference, and it's drier. We're just reacclimating ourselves back to the humidity here in Costa Rica.
Yes. The first day I got back, I was dizzy several times, and I felt my skin plumping up again. My skin was no longer screaming, and now this isn't as dry, obviously, as going to like mainland U.S., Nevada, somewhere in the desert. I mean, I can't believe that we were in Hawaii and my skin was like noticeably, kind of screaming at me, and I was moisturizing. So it is much more humid here for sure, and we are acclimated to the jungle. So
Okay, so I'm just gonna give 10 seconds of our home farm news, where we came back to tons of platanos and apple bananas.
which are super, super sweet and delicious.
Most of you know about platanos, giant bananas. When they're yellow or green, you can make them into savory dishes. But they're best when they turn completely black. and then they turn into like amazing desserts.
Right. So a
Uh,
platano you can eat green or ripe,
Yeah,
whereas bananas I don't think you can.
no. These are apple bananas, and they're small, but they're just amazing tasting. Slightly like an apple, a little bit, but just an unbelievably delicious banana.
Yeah, super, super good. And so we had all of those, and then we even got like another bunch, another green bunch that's hanging up in the bodega right now. So we are going to be kind of loaded.
Yes,
Super excited about that.
and they never go to waste if they. Well, the platanos never go to waste. We cook them, but if the other bananas start to get too ripe, we freeze them, and we always use them in smoothies or make ice cream out of them or whatever.
Yes. So today, I have this little thing I got in Hawaii, and so if you're married, you wear it on your left, the left side of your body.
Which looks like the right side,
Oh, to them.
because when you do Facebook Live, it goes mirror. but-
Oh, okay. Okay, so this is on my left. But the first day that we were at, like the first place that we stayed at, we went to a restaurant that night, and the lady asked me, "Are you married?" I'm like, well, "Yeah, you know, I got my ring on and everything." She's like, "Well," she's like, "you're supposed to be wearing your flower on the other side." I said, "Oh, okay, thank you." So I think that there's like code like that with like wearing cowboy hats.
Oh,
You can't
really?
just like grab a guy's hat and put it on, because that means like, let's go to your house or something. So, you know, and I feel like there's other, like the gay community had something with like different colored handkerchiefs at one point, or
yeah,
still
like
do.
which pocket it's in or the color.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah, but something. So it's really interesting that there's like this code, and it's good to know what it is that you're doing. And sometimes we just think, you know, what do we call this? Appropriation. You know, it's like, oh, that's a lovely idea. I'm just gonna do that too, and then you don't realize what the actual significance is. It's Native American Heritage Month, and although I don't know what the Native Hawaiians did in terms of like their hair, and this might be one of their, you know, customs. I do know that different Native American tribes, they had special significance to the way that they braided their hair. So anyways, so shout out to my people, the Wailakis, Native American Heritage Month up in Northern California. And down here, we once had the Chortegas in our direct area. So,
in our
well, yeah, but Costa Rica had has six Native American tribes. Shout out to Brian, who just joined us. So I started eco-bricking demonstrations before we left.
Do I need to follow you with the camera?
No, I you know.
Are you sure?
Okay, I'm back. Yeah, no, I'm coming.
Oh, I moved that stack.
Yeah, this was my demonstration stack.
Sorry.
We're so live. Anyway, so these are things that we ate on our trip, or that we picked up on our trip.
My beautiful wife Janine, has a long history of taking back garbage from our trips. But you know, it's not garbage. She always brings back recyclables.
Well, I feel that, you know, like we should be responsible for what it is that we're doing and using in life, and so when we would visit Costa Rica, I would bring stuff back that I knew that we could recycle in the States, and that was not recyclable here. So here in this area, we just recently, thanks to the water keepers, the Nicoya water keepers, have a recycling plant that's super close. So thank you so much, Nicoya water keepers. But before they didn't, and so I would take back aluminum, and if we had plastic bottles or whatever it was, I was not eco-bricking at that point. So now it's actually kind of reversed. So now that I eco-brick, when we travel away, like most people cannot recycle this. These things are not recyclable. unless you're eco-bricking. So then I take this stuff home. So yes, on the road, like I'm cleaning these out and drying them. And if Ken's eating a bar, I'm asking him to give me his wrapper. And anyway.
He really loves bars.
And he really loves bars. Yes, that's what someone said at the natural store because he bought like a ton of them. And this lady in line was like, wow, he really likes bars. Like, yes, he does. John D, hello. Anyway, today being back, I actually worked really hard. I've been up since 6 in the morning. And so this is like where we all want to go with Farm Talk Friday anyway, right? The chickens. So they're doing great. We did have a mishap last night. We forgot to close the door of the big chicken's house.
Well, there's a process. You open the chicken, make sure you're not going to pinch their
Sever.
toes on the ladder, and then you just, before you close it, because you only got one hand for you just put it back in place, and then we get everything set, and then sometimes we forget to actually fasten the door.
Yeah, or maybe just this once we forgot to fasten the door, but
I've done it
oh,
before.
you've done it before.
They don't escape. They just kind of knock the door down and look through it.
Yeah, so that happened. But anyway, so that's a very interesting dynamic. We got back and talking about severed toes from like drawing up the ladder too fast. Shiro, who was our first injured chick who's made a full recovery and is giant, is now the leader of the pack. She is like top of the pecking order and a complete bully. And this has just happened since we got back. So there was another one, Rosie, who has like the biggest red jowls and the biggest, crest, which is soft, by the way, in case you didn't know. And Rosie was kind of mean. The reason why we didn't bring Shakti back to her sisters is that Rosie was like kicking the shit out of her, like coming around and pecking her really hard. So Rosie was like leader of the pack, and now it's Shiro. And so that we have these other two, Turkey Tail and Visigoth, or Vizzy. And they're being kind of like cast aside, and they eat together, but not with Shiro and Rosie. But like Shiro, even with Rosie, I'm like, whoa, girl, like you were the runt and you got hurt. But I guess that's just how it goes in their little world. But anyway, Shakti is doing good. Unfortunately, she doesn't have a lot of feathers. She seems to rub them off because she's in her harness a lot. So she sometimes looks like she's ready for us to cook her. But we're not going to do that. We're still committed to her.
There wouldn't be much meat there anyway.
She's still smaller than her sisters. And actually now Poe has outgrown her. Poe is like this not full grown. They all still have a little bit more to go, but they're getting quite big, and Poe is bigger than Shakti now, and such a sweetheart. He or she, they is super cute.
When he's not picking her, when she's not picking her.
Anyway,
So we still don't have any eggs. We are waiting for our first eggs. We can't wait till we get them.
Yeah, and these first eggs will be very expensive.
Well, with our chicken feed situation, we just were gifted all of this amazing spent grain, which is a combo of 3 different grains.
Oh, great.
By the wonderful La Pera Hermosa brewery.
Courtney and Ryan, thank you so much.
Yes, and so we're psyched about that. We're gonna like dry it out in our dehydrator and then just mix it up with the rest of our stuff for the chicken feed.
Yeah, that'll be great. And I think we were growing sorghum, but it got eaten by ants, and we reported on that last time, right? Darn. Well, good thing we got this spent grain. Anyway, there were other observations that I made, but I took some pictures and I'm going to post them later, and I will put some of the observations. But I did work very hard, like all around the yard. I was out after Ken's class, like for, I don't know, a good 2 or 3 hours, and I'll probably go out again when the sun goes down just a little bit more.
You're gonna sleep well tonight.
I'm gonna sleep so good. I am working out my karma. Okay, well, we love everyone that has joined us today live. Thank you so much for being here. I'm seeing hearts and thumbs and oh, Scott's album's about to come out.
Yes.
The Trip Out. We got to listen
Well,
to it. We stopped
yeah.
in LA for 2 days.
Yeah.
Don't be mad at us.
We don't know the release date.
Oh, okay.
But it's called
Anyways, it's great.
It's called the Trip Out. It's awesome. We got to hear a preview in sequence this morning actually, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
And we will certainly post more information once we have it.
Yes. But his video is dropping maybe next week. But the single, the Naz Tokyo single that he did, or the song Housebroken, featuring this amazing artist, Naz Tokyo, who's a total badass girl. She's tiny, but like, she's great. That song's out now. So go Scott.
That's right.
All right. And my baby. Okay. Love you guys.
Okay, see you next week on Farm Talk Friday.